Rise and shine, everybody. It's time to wake and bake with Craig Reed and Griff Martin.
The Stoned Roadie Show, podcast 236, Wake and Bake the Morning Buzz, episode 113, action. Alrighty there, fellow slaves and earthlings, looky here, looky here. My name's Craig Reed, a.k.a. the Stoned Roadie, and it's October 23rd, 2024. And with me today is my co-pilot, the rocket scientist, Griff Martin. So what are we going to talk about here on this Wednesday morning here, October 23rd there, Griff?
We can start off by checking this picture out right here. Let me see if I can get out of the way of it. That's at the monument. And that's a pretty iconic picture there. You have Jim Brace, Mark Howard, Mark Frank. I believe that's Dwayne Easley over there. And then Gene Odom. And
Where's your remote? You can move yourself over with your remote.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. Yeah. So anyway, I'll just move back and forth so you can see. Oh, I can go all the way down. I can go all the way down like Craig does and disappear.
Oh, there he goes.
There you go. So that's the picture right there. That's a cool picture. And Larry Tate, I believe, took that picture. I think he took that picture. Yeah, great picture. And I heard a lot of great things about the monument, the event. Everybody had a great time. And I guess next year they'll be doing it again, but maybe we'll be communists next year, Craig, more than we are now.
Yeah. If Trump gets elected, I'll go next year.
Oh, you will?
Oh, yeah. There wasn't but 19 people went to my class reunion this year.
Yeah.
Wasn't many people at all.
Well, I remember at my class reunion, there was like a bar out front, and in the back of the bar was the class reunion, and there was like young people out front. And then some of the young people, they were wanting to know what the hell's back there in the back. And so they came in there, and we were all standing in the hallway, and they walked past us, and they go, "Oh, there's nothing but a bunch of old people back here." So they turned around and walked out. And my buddy goes, "Did you hear what they said?" And I said, "You didn't think you were old?" Because I mean, that's a wake up call for you right there when you have somebody walk in there. Oh, it's a bunch of blue hairs.
Well, 76 people in my class out of 200 are dead, but they have it scheduled for the third weekend of every October every year. And that's October 20th every year. So it's either the class reunion or the monument site. Last year I went to the monument. This year, because of the Trump or the election, I didn't go to the monument, but I'll go next year. If Trump wins, if not, we'll just see what shape the country's in. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be probably stolen, in my opinion. That's what I'm thinking. I was trying to find that Gary Rossington picture, but I can't seem to. There it is, right there. Okay. Yeah. So there's the that picture that I have behind me is the Gary Rossington collection. And Kent Griffith sent that to me, and I think he posted it on Facebook. But as you can see, I'll go ahead and lower myself out of the picture. Craig, you want to talk about those amps right there? What's happening with those amps? Are those anything you recognize?
Well, those are the old Tweed amps, and yeah, we ordered those special through Peavy. They didn't make Tweed, so we asked them to make us some Tweed stuff. And then the next tour after that, we asked them to not put any cover on them at all. We just wanted natural wood. So they wouldn't put a cover on it. So we just got the bare cabinets, and then we just polyurethaned them and made them natural wood. But yeah, those are the original Tweed ones with the brown grill claws. But yeah.
And you kind of inherited all that from Joe Barnes, right? I mean, you
Well,
took that over.
Joe Osborne was actually the contact with Peavy and set that up initially, and then Joe Barnes did it because Joe Barnes was the band electrician basically. But then when Joe Barnes left, I took it over, and then from then when Joe Barnes quit, I did all the endorsements and everything with all Peavy, and every time anything needed done with Peavy, I would take the truck there to Peavy and drop it off and have them tweak everything out and get new stuff or whatever we wanted to do. But yeah, did the tour out there, went to the school out there and everything. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, as a matter of fact, right before we went on the Street Survivor tour, I took all the band equipment out there to get it all ready for the tour, and yeah.
There's like an urban myth, and I always used to hear that people would say, "Yeah, they had those PV cabinets and they put Marshall electronics in there." You heard that, didn't you?
Yeah, well, they were just stock amps, but they turned the bias up. I used to remember how to do it. You just you get down in there and you just take a screwdriver and then turn the bias up about an eighth or a quarter of a turn, and yeah.
So they're original electronics, original.
Yeah, we just turn them up, but Peavy would turn them up from the factory for us. So yeah, we'd go out there and they would tweak them for us.
So was that like make it sound more dirty?
I guess, I don't know. Turn the bias up. I'm not an electrician. All I know how to do it, but I don't know why. I just know the screw to turn. That's all. I know where it's at and how to turn it. Or I used to know where it was at. I don't know anymore.
Well, there's more to come on Gary's collection because, and I don't know how much I can talk about it, but there's some cool stuff getting ready to happen with some of his guitars, and I'll just leave it at that. And I just thought I would share that picture so we can have some more skin information because, we want to try to get as much out there as we can because whenever we go into the comments, it's going to be less skin information than we normally have. And speaking of some more Skynyrd stuff and the survivors, we have a $300 bid on the Blue Book, the Gene Odom Blue Book, and that's Sue M. No, that's Bruce Fanshare bid on the book, 300. Sue M bid on the vest. Yeah, $125 on the vest and $300 on the book. With Bruce bid on the book for 300, Sue on the vest, 125. Anybody wants to beat that? I don't know, Craig. Can you pull that vest up and take a look at it? It's getting pretty close to where we're probably going to.
Yeah, we had $100 bid on the vest, and then Sue bid 125 on it.
Yeah, and then you get this patch. In case I think that patch right there will fit over the to Joe. I think you could sew that right over the top of that, and it would look all right. Oh, I got that backwards. Yeah, like that.
A nice vest. It's a Bill Blast vest.
So I'll send that patch to Craig Um, and whenever we announce the winner, he'll have that patch. Maybe Craig will sew it on for you. I
No.
think she wanted you to, or she wanted you to sign it, I believe.
Oh,
Did you
wow.
did you read that? Yeah, read the email from her, Craig. I think I
I
forwarded it
don't
to
think
you.
so. I think I know Sue. I think she's the one that I met in Hawaii. Her and her friend and her mom. I think I
Yeah.
took her and her friend out to dinner in Hawaii. When
Oh yeah, long time
I
ago.
think so. I think that's the same lady.
And then James Cross, a $50 bid. Did he say who that goes to, Craig?
No, it goes to the general fund. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, thank you there, James Cross, and the survivors appreciate that.
Let me hold his sheet up. I made a sheet because this is how I keep track of all that. He sent in $50 once before, and he sent in another 50. And
Yeah, cool.
he said, loving the podcast. So thank you, James Cross.
Yeah, cool.
So,
Yeah, if anybody wants to donate any to the survivors, and the Stone Roadie at gmail.com, send it to Craig.
yeah, and
And
I just sent, finally, I just sent out Gene Odom. I sent him $1,000 today. And I sent Paul Welsh $1,000, and I sent Leslie $1,000.
cool.
And I
Yeah.
just sent Mark Frank. I've sent him $1,000 not long ago. Matter of fact, I sent him $2,000 because he sold that book for $1,000. So I just went ahead and sent him two, and then I sent Mark Howard another $1,000. So I've sent out. Yeah, $5,000 here in the last.
Yeah, and then tomorrow, tomorrow I'm going to go see. I'm going to go see Gene Odom and take him some money for some of that Hell House wood that I've been selling, and I'm going to do an on the road with Griff Martin. So Friday, we should have a fresh Gene Odom story. Look Friday for some Gene Odom, unless some kind of a flood comes and floods me out before I can get to, because I'm hearing there's floods everywhere now. Canada,
and
Colorado.
earthquakes too. Earthquakes too.
Yeah,
All
there's
kinds of
all kinds
stuff's
of
going
crazy
on.
shit going on right now.
Yeah, and Kathy
I was,
Kazi is going to do a Saturday night special here this Saturday too.
oh,
She's gonna
okay.
have the lady that lady that went to Alan's house years ago. She's going to be on with Kathy.
And then I saw a really cool story. I thought I would kind of share it. It's not a Lynyrd Skynyrd thing, but it's a Nirvana story, and some of you guys might have seen it on FakeBook. I think it was on TikTok or whatever it is. But there was this guy in Ireland, and he kept telling his buddies a story about how he was hitchhiking um, somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, and Dave Grohl comes pulling up in a car, and he's like bullshitting with Dave Grohl for a minute, and then all of a sudden Dave Grohl hit he was in the passenger side and the guy was driving. He said, "Let's get out of here, man. Let's get the hell out of here." And what it was he was wearing a Kurt Cobain shirt. He had a T-shirt on that had Kurt Cobain's picture on it. And so he thought that was really weird. So he went back and he told all of his buddies, "Man, I ran into Dave Grohl." And they're like, "Yeah, whatever, man, whatever, you lying sack, you know." So then just recently, old Dave Grohl comes out with this story about how this hitchhiker changed his life. Because when Kurt Cobain died, Dave Grohl was kind of like going to quit music. He just decided he was going to go travel and quit music. And then when he was out there in Ireland in the middle of nowhere and pulls up on this guy wearing a Kurt Cobain shirt, it freaked him out. and he said, I got to get back to work. So that's what put Dave Grohl back to work. And, then you got the Foo Fighters. And so I thought that was a really cool story. And then that guy told all his buddies, I told you. And, he was kind of like a hero. He didn't even know it. He didn't even realize it. So a little rock trivia there for you. Nothing to do with Skynyrd, but Craig, why are you eating, man? We've never seen you eat on the podcast. What's up with that?
I'm trying something new. I'm watching all them fat women eat on the podcast. They eat their stuff their face with them new McDonald's fish sandwiches and Big Mac fish or chicken sandwiches and stuff. They just got them all over their face and they're dripping them down there.
Yeah, so you think we're going to get more subscribers if you're eating?
I'm going to sit here and eat while I'm doing a podcast.
Well, if you were eating a cheeseburger or something, and it was dripping down your shirt.
Well, I don't eat cheeseburger. I'm having some dried ginger and some chocolate-covered cherries and pistachios and walnuts.
I remember it was Artemis' birthday. It was probably a couple years ago. And I sent him a happy birthday. I texted him, happy birthday, Artimus. Go get you a nice, big, greasy hamburger with bacon on it. And he was like, ooh, gross. Ooh, I would never eat that.
Yeah, I went down to the peanut shop yesterday and got me a bunch of stuff down in Akron. It's been open down there since like 1920.
Yeah, you got some chocolate-covered walnuts, right? Dark
chocolate-covered
black walnuts.
Yeah, I got some regular walnuts and some chocolate-covered ones. Yeah, kill them parasites people say I don't have,
Yeah.
I know I don't have any, but the people that said they don't exist, I know they do.
Well, all you got to do is get in the dark and put a flashlight on your butt, and you can tell. Because Kimmy says any parasite will crawl out of there. It doesn't have to be a pinworm.
Yeah, we're just conspiracy therapists here. Yeah.
Yeah, with our aluminum foil hats.
Yeah.
And who knows, man? One of these days we might be right, and we'll be heroes because everybody was saying, "Man, I remember those two idiots," and we thought they were full of shit, and they were right.
Well, obesity is not healthy, and anybody that argues that it is, you're mentally ill. I'm sorry, but obesity is not healthy. So
I don't know. Look at Trump, man. He's what, 78?
And he eats McDonald's and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's wrong with that picture, man. He wants to be a germaphobe and stuff, and he eats that freaking trash, man. I don't get it. It says
he wouldn't care. His whole thing about that was because she said that she worked at McDonald's and he checked up on it, and it was another lie, and she had to be beat now by him. So he said, yeah, he told everybody, yeah, I worked 15 minutes longer than Kamala did, which was not at all, he said. And now they're blowing up. They're going crazy over that. They're like losing it over that McDonald's thing.
Yeah, the liberals are losing it over Trump talking about Arnold Palmer for 15 minutes and what a man he was. Oh, they're just having a
really? I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, the liberals are just having a fit because he talked for 12 minutes or something about what a man Arnold Palmer was. We need to talk about what the way men used to be. Everybody's a damn sissy anymore. Gee,
oh, yeah.
And anybody that would vote for Tampon Tim and that hoe and support this insanity that there's 87 genders, you people are sick, man. I mean, you're mentally ill. You really are. Trump wants to bring the taxes down. He wants to decrease the fuel, the gasoline prices and fuel prices and food prices and taxes. And and everything else, and you all hate that man so much. You want
Yeah.
to destroy the country. You all are freaking mentally ill, man. I don't know. 87 genders. Anybody that supports that, I'm sorry, but you're mentally freaking ill,
Yeah,
in my
it's
opinion.
it's some kind of a disease, man. It's
All
just
you, all this insanity,
they're
all this he, she, he, her, all these pronoun crap. If you were an employer, would you want to hire somebody that wanted to be called a pronoun? Right away, you're bringing in a pain in the ass.
oh, right, yeah, because
You're
now,
bringing in
if
somebody
somebody,
that's going to want to be treated special. I mean,
yeah, oh yeah.
it's y'all are sick, man. I mean,
I was running into a little bit of that right before I retired. They were hiring these freaking young dudes in, and and their vagina was hurting all the time, running into the office and crying about he put me on a job and I didn't like that job. And then they're calling me in and going, "Hey man, why'd you put him on that job? It's a job that needed to be done. Well, how can you put him on there? Well, what's wrong with that?" I mean, is he a mechanic or electrician or what? I mean,
you
it's
only did it because you know he's different. Oh
um,
my
you know,
God. I
it's
don't
just,
know.
and then they sent me to some class where they said you have to learn how to kiss the young people's ass class is what that was. The new generation Z, you have to learn how to kiss their ass. And I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to do that. I just couldn't. So finally I said, I can't work in this environment. And I just retired, trying to vaccinate me and then going around and going to HR on me every day. And I was like, this is getting old here. I don't recognize this place. But yeah,
Well,
it's
they're
it's
poisoning the kids. I mean, they've got these kids indoctrinated that they wake up and they eat this sugar cereal, and then that's all they eat all day long is sugar. And then Lord knows if they have a mother that actually cooks. If not, they're getting fast food and obesity. Obesity's crazy. I was watching Theo Vaughn and Vance, the vice president guy, and talking about it. Obesity's at an epidemic level, and yeah, it's sick. But yeah,
yeah, it's
people are just addicted to eating. They just don't want to hear it. They just they just don't understand. You don't need to eat that much. I mean, that's why everybody's fat because they overeat. Why would you, as expensive as food is, why would you overeat?
for the
I
same
mean,
reason. Why would you vote for a communist?
it doesn't make
I
sense. It's
mean, there's
like,
a lot of things that they're doing that don't make sense. And it's all from watching that TV, I mean, there's things you can watch and maybe you can believe it, but you just have to be stupid to believe this stuff that these
it's
people are
it's
doing.
like filling your car up with gas and then just dumping it out on the ground because that's all you're doing. You're filling up your belly full of food, and then the next morning you get up and shit it all out. I mean, you're just paying to get up and shit.
But it tastes good
Yeah,
though.
you pay to shit.
But Craig, man, you're getting something out
Why do
of it.
you
You're
eat
getting
so much? Oh, I like to shit.
no, you like the taste.
I like to sit there and take a big old shit. Now,
Oh, okay.
there's $150 turd down the drain.
Well,
Stupid.
let's go ahead and jump into these comments and
Everything I
because
eat turns to shit.
because I've got like 25 of them. So, uh, yeah. So anybody who, you got anything else, Craig, before we start? Anything else?
No, that's
No? Okay. Oh, this is a political question. Robin Blankenship. I remember when Clinton was president, he was eating at McDonald's, and I was thinking, that's not healthy.
it.
Yeah, him and Trump both like that McDonald's, you know?
I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it don't taste bad if you think about it. It's just poison that it's like putting rat poison in good food or something, you know? It just
I don't know.
you know, the French fries are toxic. You know, they spray the potatoes with something and then they have to let them sit for a week before they can even go back in there so all that chemical can vent off of it. And yeah, and everything that slime that they make the burgers out of, it's pink slime. It's not even meat. It's some kind of slime, you know? It's like, really? And then, yeah, Robin Blankenship. When I watched the clip of Trump serving fries, I was thinking about RFK and how Trump said he was going to make America healthy again. And then he's in there freaking eating at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's kind of yeah,
Yeah,
that's a puzzling one there.
that's,
I
yeah,
have to
because,
I have to admit that that one's a little peculiar.
yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, doesn't make any sense. But then
But
again, Trump
McDonald's
isn't
McDonald's feeds more people than the army feed. I mean, when they compare what NASA makes per day, when they compare, they say NASA gets $66 million a day from the government. They compare that to what McDonald's makes in a day worldwide, which is about 65 million. McDonald's makes worldwide every day. But from what I understand, McDonald's, like in Japan, I guess they have some. They're over in Europe. It's different.
yeah.
The stuff isn't actually half bad. I
Back in
haven't been over there for
2000,
years, but
in 2000, I was in Italy and they had McDonald's and it was Milan, Italy. And they didn't even serve the same food. And they had like, it wasn't French fries, it was these breadsticks that were like about a foot long in this pack. And I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, and I mean, I couldn't even speak Italian to order anything, but I just kind of pointed at it and they said, yeah, yeah, okay. And it wasn't even the same menu. Yeah. And that was in 2000. So you know, but we have some listeners abroad because somebody from Thailand sent me a message the other day. Hey man, I'm in Thailand. I like listening to the podcast. So I imagine
that's where my ginger comes from, Thailand.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, that ginger down at the peanut shop. That's where they get their ginger, Thailand. But I don't
Yeah,
know.
those Asians, they eat ginger on everything. Ginger
Yeah.
fish. Yeah, that's why they're so healthy, man. Um, and Mary Smokey says Donald Trump was an excellent president, and why wouldn't he be excellent president the second time because of the first time he was so good? Yeah, you know, the proof's in the pudding. And then Obama says, "Oh, I created that economy. He inherited that from me." What a freaking lying sack that guy is. Steve Pitt, Craig, if you could go back in time to when you were 22 years old, would you do it?
Yeah, I would. I would for sure. Yeah. I would do a lot of things different. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't go back with the current knowledge you have. You just have to go back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
You-
tough one. I don't know. That's a tough one.
yeah, well, that was
Yeah,
before the plane
I'd like
crash.
to go back, and when Ronnie asked me if I was afraid to get on the airplane, I would like to say, no, I'm not, Ronnie, I'm not afraid of the airplane, but I just hope them pilots put enough gas in this thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, I always,
Yeah.
like I said, man, you had so much shit on that plane they couldn't clear the trees. You had your whole, you had what, 12 suitcases and all kinds of coins and everything
Oh,
on
I
there.
didn't have that many suitcases. I had seven, I think. I had four big suitcases and three briefcases. That's seven.
Um, David Hester says, Craig, go down and get some Greek yogurt and put those walnuts in that.
Yeah,
But you don't eat dairy.
I eat Greek yogurt every now and then. No, I eat
Yeah.
Greek yogurt. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go. Put your walnuts in the Greek yogurt.
yeah. I
So
eat
it don't
cheese. I eat Swiss cheese.
so it don't taste like paste. And then Kimmy says, there are many parasites in North Carolina of all colors, races, and creed. Okay. Why? Why in North Carolina? That's where Kimmy lives, right? So, yeah, okay. Yeah, Kimmy even call her husband a parasite. She she don't have a problem. She don't have a problem talking shit about him right in front of him. You know. Franklin Ferguson, I heard you talk about the bus crash into the bank. I would love to hear more about that story. Were you there when the bus crashed into the bank, Craig?
Well, uh, from what I can remember, me and Ed King were out somewhere, and we got back to the hotel, and the bus was in the bank. We were going. Where's the bus? And ain't that it down there, stuck in the side of that building? Something that just come. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Me and Ed were somewhere, and we come back, and somebody told us that the bus had ran into the bank because it wasn't sitting there in the front of the hotel like it was supposed to be, and it had rolled down over the hill into the side of the building.
Did it? Did they
I can
still,
almost visualize it, but
were you still able to drive the bus?
it
Or
knocked
did
the
it?
windshield out, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, I don't
Damn. So
remember
you had to get a
exactly. I
new
don't
bus.
remember exactly what kind of damage the bus had. Yeah.
So you had to get a new bus. You couldn't go back, get back on that one, huh?
No.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit right there. And nobody was in the bus when it
No,
hit.
no, it was parked. That's what I thought. Somebody was talking the other day. We were talking. I said I don't know nothing about air brakes, but something happened with the air brakes that let loose, and but somebody was saying if there's no pressure on the air brakes, the air
Yeah,
brakes
you have to have air
will
pressure to
lock
release.
up. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't understand that. For
Yeah, you
some
have to.
reason, the brakes let loose, and I don't understand. It was parked, so. Yeah, somebody said, yeah, if you'd lose pressure, the brakes would just be locked up.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I don't
That's
understand it. I don't know air brakes.
kind of weird. Um, Chip Crewy says when he saw the Alan Collins band, they did Working for MCA, Sweet Home, That Smell, and Freebird.
Yeah, I think we opened up with MCA. It's just like normal.
Because I think you said last podcast that they didn't do any Skynyrd songs.
I
And
thought
that's
I think I said I
and
thought they
Chip's
did a
telling you
couple.
you're full of shit.
Well, they probably did the ones that Alan wrote.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I
Well, he
thought they
wasn't,
did a couple, but I wasn't sure.
but he
But
wasn't
now I
right.
remember they did open up with MCA.
Yeah. Well, those are the popular ones, you know. MCA, Sweet Home, Freebird, that smell, it's like the top of the list. Um, let's see, who was that? That was Chip Crewy. Yeah, Steve Pitt. I was using Land of Lakes butter for years until this weekend. I discovered they removed the Indian off of it. No more Cleveland Indians, no more Redskin, no more hot Indian chick on the butter. What a sick society we live in. Yeah, I mean, everybody's whining about everything. I mean, I was thinking about suing the Cracker Barrel because they have a white Cracker Man on the sign out there. I mean, they sued Sambo's.
Yeah,
I don't
I think
appreciate
I use
I
Land
don't
O'Lakes butter.
I don't appreciate being called a cracker. Do you, Craig?
I don't give a shit.
Well, you need to start so you can get some
Honky,
money.
honky, cracker. I don't give a shit.
And John Hartline, I howled when Griff said, "It's organic if you believe it." Damn straight, that whole green organic thing is a racket. It's all a scam. Only small growers can achieve organic, and even then it's minimal. I agree. I think a lot of it's bullshit. I think they just try to tell you it's organic and just to get more money out of it. And what are you going to do to prove it? That's like if something's kosher, you know. You know what kosher is, Craig? The meat can't touch the cheese.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. I think you can eat a piece of cheese and you can eat a burger, but you can't put the cheese on the burger. That's
Oh.
not kosher. I had a Jewish boss, and one, you remember that Saturday Night Live when Coffee Talk, that freaking Yenta used to have that show Coffee Talk, and she said, "I'm getting verklempt. Speak amongst yourselves," right? And so my boss was yelling at me one day, right? And I go, "Man, don't get all verklempt and shit." And he goes, "What's that mean?" I said, "Well, you're Jewish. Why don't you know what that means?" And he went and looked it up. And he goes, "How did you know what verklempt?" I said, "You don't watch Saturday Night Live." And so then every time I pissed him off, he'd go, "Man, I'm getting verklempt." And Michelle says, Keith Richards gave up smoking in 2019 since you mentioned it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. A couple people said that. Yeah, he quit smoking.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so 2019 he quit smoking. I wonder if he still smokes weed.
I don't know. I don't think he ever was known for smoking weed. I don't know.
Who was it said that? It was one of the Skynyrd guys. I think it might have been Ed King, that he walked into Keith Richards' room. That might have been Joe Walsh said that. He walked into Keith Richards' room and he said he looked like he was dead. He said he was going to go call 911 because he thought he was dead. And then he said he walked down the end of the hall and turned around and came back and he was in a different position. And he was like, "Oh, hell, I guess he was still alive." He said, but he looked like he was dead. And then later on, he came over to his room. That might have been Joe Walsh. It was either Ed King or Joe Walsh. If anybody out there remembers that story, straighten me out on that. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was probably Joe Walsh. Patricia Lynn, I never thought about water in restaurants. I'll have to rethink that. Yeah, you don't know where they're getting at. I'll tell you a story, Craig, about water.
Well,
I went
especially the
into a,
ice machines are
oh
dirty.
yeah, I went into a Chinese restaurant, and I used to get out of the gym and I would go over and eat lunch at the Chinese restaurant. Well, I was in the back, and after the lunch crowd left out of there, they didn't see me back there, and they were cleaning up in the dining room because I sat in the back. And then the lady was the waitress was going around pouring all the water glasses in a pitcher off the tables, all the water off the tables, and then she went and sat the pitcher down on the table, and then somebody came in and she went over there and poured their drink out of that pitcher, and then she turned around and saw me, and I was looking at her, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm a caught." And I never went back in. As a matter of fact, I've never been to a Chinese restaurant since then. I've eaten at Japanese restaurants and Thai, but I haven't been to a Chinese restaurant since then because of that. And then, I do think that some of them are serving up some cat. Steve Jones says, I've been in the VSW Steelworkers Union, or USW. Sorry, I don't know what that is. For over 25 years, my local is pro-Trump. I tell you what, I was on strike for 157 days and watched them launch 3 space shuttles. We said, oh man, they can't launch any space shuttles. Sure enough, out there on the picket line, we watched 3 space shuttles take off. That was a rough. That's when I was married to the doctor and I didn't need any money. Craig, did every drug known to man for many years, and now he's worried about drinking from a plastic bottle? I didn't write who said that down. I forgot to write your name down, but I laughed my ass off when I heard
That's
that.
true. Yeah, that's true.
Craig did every drug known to man. And now he's worried about drinking out of a plastic bottle.
I did some that weren't known to man. Man. I did some nobody ever heard of.
Joe Barnes says, I would say, Joe Barnes. Steve Jones says, I would say Joe Barnes and Kevin Elson would be the one to know the story about the bus incident.
I don't think Joe went with him.
What about Kevin Elson?
And I don't think Kevin was with them either.
I'll get Brandon Campbell to ask Kevin Elson, was he on the bus, or does he know anybody that was on the bus, or does he know the story? Brandon, if you're listening,
he knows this. He'd heard the story,
or
I've
maybe
heard the story, but like I said, I wasn't there, and I never heard that Kevin talk about it. So,
well, somebody wanted to know who threw out the N-word.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know that was ever.
Yeah, maybe Kevin Elson knows the story. If Brandon Campbell, he talks to Kevin Elson all the time, so maybe he could ask him. Carol the Cake Girl asked, did Shelby do any video coverage of the monument? Just wondering, since she's the Stoned. Shelby, she doesn't have a video camera. I mean, she has her phone. And, she's still a fledgling interviewer and stuff. So I was kind of working with her, but she lives in St. Augustine now. And I really ought to get her a camera and start sending her out for some on the road with Shelby Barrett. And maybe we can start getting some more on the road stuff. I've been kind of thinking about that. So it's a good point. John says, my mom had 8 dogs. They all ate the same thing, and one of those dogs was 3 times heavier than the other ones. What say you about that, Craig?
One of them ate 3 times as much food. That's what happened.
No, he said they all ate the same amount.
Oh,
I wonder were they the same dogs?
I don't know. One of them was lying. One of them was a closet eater.
One of them was probably eating out of the other
Yeah,
one's
one of them
bowl.
was lying. One of them's not telling you the truth. One of them was closet eating.
Maybe that one had a thyroid problem.
That one was hiding Snickers bars under their pillow.
Well, John, were they all the
No,
same exact dog?
people do have different metabolisms. That's true. I mean, I know
Well,
people that can eat. I know guys that eat 4 times more than I do, and they're skinnier than I am.
I remember
Yeah,
that show, Naked and Afraid. You ever watch that show,
uh,
Craig?
yeah.
And yeah, the one guy, his plan, he was a fat guy, and his plan was just to burrow into a little den and just not move for the entire time. And that's what he did, and he won. Yeah, he didn't. He said, I'm not going to eat. I'm not looking for anything to eat. I'm just going to live off of my fat. And everybody can go out and they can fight over the food. And I'm just going to burrow in this little hole. And the guy won. Or he,
I don't eat. I'm amazed at the little bit of amount of food that I eat every day. I hardly eat anything. But like I said, my weight is stable. I drink a lot of tea, and it has a lot of honey in it. But
yeah.
I have my weight stable, and I don't hardly eat anything.
Um, David Coleman says, didn't know this was a show on politics. To hell with y'all. Hey, man, ask some Skynyrd questions there, David. I mean, you can ask as many as you want, and I'll even look for your name and read them all for you. Susan McMaster, Griff, stand aside when you're reading the label in the grocery store. You're clogging up the aisle. Yeah, I know. I hate that when people stand in your way. It's like you got your basket and they're over there looking at shit and it's blocking the aisle and you got to just kind of stand there. What I do is I run right up on them. I get my buggy like 6 inches away from theirs and I just look at them.
Oh, I like the women that there's two things side by side, and one of them's 5 cents more than the other one, and they'll pick one up and put it in their cart, then they'll put it back and pick up the other one, and then they'll put it back. No, 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 I ain't gonna spend that other nickel. And then they'll put it back in there and go, yeah, I'm gonna spend that other nickel, and they'll put, no, I'm not gonna. They'll put it back and forth 5 times over a nickel.
Well, they're not going to read the label because they're fat. They care more about the money than the
Yeah,
label.
they do. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I see them in the cereal aisle just loading up the basket with cereal.
Oh, that cereal is poison.
Yeah, it's nothing but. I haven't
They
had a
don't
bowl of
make that, all
cereal.
that stuff that used to be halfway decent to eat. It's all changed now. Them five families own everything now. That just because it's got the same name, there's one person owns everything. It's like Pepsi owns lots of stuff.
Oh yeah, they own Coke and um, they own everything. Yeah, that
And
Coke.
Mars is one of the richest families in the world. They selling sugar to people. Mars, yeah, the candy people, they're one of the
Well, I tell you, I
five
love it.
richest families in the world.
I love a peanut M&M now.
Them peanut M&Ms are supposed to be bad for you now.
Well, I'm sure they are.
I don't know if it's the dye or not. I don't know. That food dye is supposed to be horrible for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's peanuts are bad for you, period. They say the peanuts are bad for you, but everything's bad for you, especially the way that they're
Yeah,
processing everything. So,
people have been living off of peanut butter for, I mean, didn't somebody say you could live off of peanut, our army could live off of peanut butter or something like that? Wasn't that an old saying?
well, the Asians, they eat a lot of rice and they're not fat. There's a way that they cook the rice where it's not fattening.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's
there's
true.
some kind of a way they cook it, and it's not, it doesn't act like a sugar because of the way they cook it. But
Yeah.
that's all they eat, man, is that rice. They eat that with everything.
Same way with a potato. I think if you like bake a potato and then cook it again, if you cook it twice or something about a potato, it takes the starch out of it or something
Yeah,
like
but it all turns to shit according to you, Craig.
that.
So,
Yeah, it alters the shit.
oh man, we're moving right along on Reverend Randall. Question, Craig, if you could pick one time to that was a time that you were with Lynyrd Skynyrd, what was your favorite time when you were with Lynyrd Skynyrd?
Oh God! But probably the most memorable was the first trip to Europe with Bob Burns. I don't know if that was the best time, but it was the most memorable when Bob Burns was lost his mind, and yeah, that
Yeah,
whole
why is
that
that,
whole thing.
Craig? How come you would want to be there for that?
What I want, uh, it
What
was the
would be
most
special
memorable.
about that
It
for you?
was the most memorable. I don't know. It was the well, that's when we did the old grade whistle test and just that first time in Europe. We were there for a long time in London.
Yeah.
That whole thing, yeah, it was. It's those times that
You were
the most.
enjoying them and you didn't even realize it.
Well, it's the most. They're the most memorable. They're it's something like that happens. It just kind of sticks in your head. It's always there. But there was, all that stuff was kind of amusing. I mean, Bob throwing the cat out the window and and just riding in those taxi cabs and going to the places where the Beatles played and walking across the street where the Beatles walked across. Just that whole thing. Buying that, getting that Benylin with codeine, going to the drugstores and getting that Benylin with codeine and drinking bottles of it to get high.
That was just a good time, huh?
Yeah, it was memorable. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different, times.
And
Nebworth, I mean, all those. I mean, the times, all that stuff with Bill Graham and all these events with Bill Graham, those were all great. That whole 3 years with Lynyrd Skynyrd was just a big, really just a snapshot. It was just all kind of that whole thing. It was so long ago.
yes, almost like a dream.
It's all condensed.
Then he asked Griff, all of the stories that you know about Leonard Skinner, what would be a time you would have picked? I would say if I could go to the Hell House and go in there and watch those guys freaking Ronnie writing those songs, for me, that would be the coolest. Going into Hell House and watching them play and write. That I just think that's some
Well,
amazing.
what I could say, watching them go to the stage watching them come out of that dressing room and going to the stage in a big stadium or whatever, and it was just, it was like the gladiators going to the arena. It was just like that, man. It was just like,
Now everybody
uh,
going ape shit.
it was just like walking the gladiators out to the arena, man. It was just crazy,
Yeah.
you know.
And then getting to see them, play.
Oh man, and yeah, and the whole time people are just losing their minds. I mean, they're up on the stage dancing, and they're just standing on the people's shoulders dancing, and these fat women are sitting up on top of these little skinny guys' shoulders, showing their big old boobs.
Yeah, I saw a lot of that stuff. I saw plenty of
It's
that.
crazy. It's a big
I remember
circus.
I was at the Peter Frampton concert and they passed this drunk chick down from the top of the bleachers. They handed her all the way down and she started puking. And then they were throwing her. She made it all the way down to the aisle and they just dumped her in the aisle and left her laying there. I
Like,
watched it. I watched them pass her down, man. It was like 100 feet.
we had that, me and Kathy Gotti had that guy that had the guy with the wheelchair that came up on stage, but there was the guy that kept jumping up on stage, and every time we would go out to get him, he'd jump back down in the crowd. And then finally he jumped up there, stark ass naked. And we went out there to grab him, and Ronnie turned around and went, just let him go. And there, all of a sudden, there that guy was he just thought he was going to be there for a second and then jump back in the crowd. All of a sudden, there he was standing there naked on stage, and Ronnie went up and put his hat on him and put his arm around him, and the guy standing there
I
naked.
never heard that
Now,
story.
that was funny.
Where the hell did you come up with that story, man? You
I've
never
told
told
that
that.
story before.
I don't remember that, man.
Guy standing there naked as a jaybird. Ronnie went up, put his hat on him, and
Ronnie
put his,
wanted that.
put
Yeah.
his arm around the guy. He's just standing there naked.
The police didn't haul him
That was
off.
hilarious.
That, it takes a guy like Ronnie to come up with that. Anybody else
Oh,
like,
right at the last minute. Yeah, we kept running out there to get him, and he kept jumping back in the crowd. He jumped up there stark ass naked, boy. We all ran out there to get him, and Ronnie, no, let him
that's
be.
like old Axl Rose. You ever seen Axl Rose? He gets pissed off at people in the audience and he'll stop the whole concert and he'll start yelling at somebody. Ronnie, he just lets you go do what you want. Oh, let me see here. Um, Gotta do more says salute to a true street survivor. Hard to believe how long ago it's been, and the music is still strong. I guess he is saluting to you, Craig, for still being around. So that's cool. And that completes all of the comments and the questions.
All righty then. I guess we're done then.
And Friday, I should have a Gene Odom on the road. So you guys, if you want to see some Gene Odom, join us Friday.
Yeah. And then Saturday, me and Kathy Ghazi's going to do a Saturday night special. So,
Yeah, so you're going to be busy, Craig, this weekend.
yeah. How about that? So, here we go. Oh, I got to. God almighty knows.
Sound like a lot of shit falling, man.
Oh, well. Yeah, here we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I don't know what happened to my camera. I can't get it back. So, I guess, yeah, that's been another episode of the Stone Roadie show, and I can't figure out what's wrong with the camera. So see you later, alligator, at the wild crocodile, and we'll call it a wrap. Cut.
See you later, alligator, at the wild crocodile. See you later, alligator, at the wild crocodile. Greg and Griff will see you next time.